Okay, hey there YouTube, this is Bipolar Bear. I'm gonna be recording a gameplay commentary of Dominion for League of Legends. This is my first commentary in a while, so I'm always a bit rusty. Pretty much Dominion is the newest game type being released by Riot. It was released, I guess, today, like, fully released. I played this game while I was in the beta, where it was on for periods of during the day. I'm playing with my friends, Derek, Brad, Derek's friend, and Derek's other friend, whose names I don't really know, but they play LoL, so I play with them. Something interesting to note is that even though Evelynn is ridiculously underpowered in most normal games, she's actually pretty good in Dominion. I'll get into that later. But so I guess what should I talk about? Dominion it's kind of different. It's a different feel from Summoner's Rift, pretty much. The way it feels is that kills and deaths don't really matter as much. They're still rewarding, but it's not. You don't really look up in the corner and go, "Ah, damn, I'm negative," or "Ah, yeah, I'm positive." You go, "Oh, sweet, we just got a bunch of kills. Let's go do stuff." It feels like that instead of really the numbers. It's more of just right in the moment. I guess the reason for that is your entire gameplay is brought up into one thing called score. So that's for kills, assists, captures, everything like that. So the game is not just about kills. I guess I'll let you know. Starting off on Dominion, all characters start at level 3, which is totally different from Summoner's Rift. This way people can put in 3 skill points. And they also get 1,375 gold, which is it's pretty good. I mean, it feels like a weird number. It's hard to get used to because it fits perfectly if you're trying to get Phage or something like that, but most characters tend to buy boots off the start, which means that if you buy straight up Phage or Sheen or something like that, you feel kind of at a disadvantage. So I decided to go with Ionian boots on Aurelia. A lot of people say that Merc Treads are good, but I find that because of her passive, Merc Treads are kind of redundant or pointless. I guess I'll explain how it works. Off the start, usually one tanky-ish character with good sustain goes straight to bottom. Then the other 4 characters go to top. One of them's supposed to stop at a shrine to cap it. And the other 3 rush up to the first point. A lot of the time they end up blowing Ghost off the very start, which is interesting. Then that one character who stops to capture 1 point goes to help the people up top. And the 2 tankies just fight at the bottom. The people who capture Windmill, I think, the top point, get a pretty big advantage over the other ones. So it's great to cap it off the start. I ended up getting an early kill on Aurelia at bottom, but there's a lot more action going on at top. There's always a off the beginning team fight at top, which is really, really interesting. It's totally different from Summoner's Rift. You can do jungle invades, but I mean, it's not quite the same in that way at all. There's one of the creeps that got, not fortified, but garrisoned, I think. I think that's what it is. Basically, you can, one of the summoner's skills is replaced, and it's called garrison. The way it works is it makes a creep a lot stronger, and you end up getting the gold for what that creep kills. I'm about to get ganked down here on bottom while my team pushes up to the top tower. It's probably a good thing that they came down to gank me because, I don't know, there's 4 people. Ah, never mind. Looks like Evelynn came down to help me. As Aurelia, I find that she's a very, very powerful character on Dominion. Just the way that she plays and her just generally everything about her. I mean, you'd think that characters with good sustain wouldn't really be as good on Dominion because you don't have to lane as much. I mean, there's one bottom lane, but most of the fighting in Dominion is very brawl. You just run in, fight somebody else. But Aurelia is actually a pretty good 1v1 champion, and she's got good mobility if you build her with Trinity Force, which a lot of people do. I personally like to do as well. Her passive really, really helps. I mean, it's great because a lot of the skirmishes are only 2 or 3 people, so with 3 champions, 40% reduced CC is ridiculously awesome. The speed shrines also really help. Gangplank is one of the characters that is probably really overpowered on Dominion. he can dish out a lot of damage in small brawl fights, but his ult can also cancel any capture anywhere from the map, which is really, really good. To cancel a capture, all you need to do is hit a champion. So, I mean, he can do that really easily. Evelynn surprisingly seemed fairly overpowered. I'll get into that now. Because, Evelynn and Twitch, actually, because even though they aren't as good as some other characters in small brawls, their invisibility lets them backdoor, for example, like this, a lot more easily than other characters, and then they can just go hide in a bush, wait for people to go away, and then do it again. And neutralizing points gives you a very big advantage if you do it enough. Looks like the enemy, we're beating them by about, I don't know, 30-ish score at the moment. Mostly just because we pushed forwards on bottom. We did not actually get the windmill on top, which was a bad start, but it turns out we made it up by catching bottom. Right here's Aurelia. I'm just trying to stop them from fully capturing the point as my team fights on top for the windmill. Looks like they got Leona, which is going to be good. Basically, kills in this game, it's not that they help gold-wise, but they do buy you time, and that's the most important thing. This Nocturne thinks he's going to tank the towers, try and kill him. But looks like I have Evelynn. Their Aurelia was... I think she played different than me in this game. In this game I was trying to run around, basically just kill champions. She was trying to push lanes and sustain by using her passive, which is all fine and dandy, but it wasn't actually... I don't think it's the main point in Dominion. Just jumped him right there and managed to get away. Oh, never mind. Other characters, Lux. I think that most casters in general on Dominion they're alright, but I think the melee brawler characters are actually by far the best. I think they might actually want to buff casters because Lux is, I don't know, probably my favorite caster so far, but that's just because of her ult, which gives her a lot of stoppability for taking points and stuff and stopping points. You can see now that a quest has appeared where my team has to defend the quarry, I think it is, and try and capture the boneyard. The same for their team. They have to capture our quarry and keep their boneyard. They're really pushing onto the point here at quarry, but looks like I might be able to stop them along with Lux. And Lux didn't end up dying. Wow, okay, yeah. So the two of us managed to stop 3 of them, which gave our team a possible opportunity to push top, but they didn't really decide to, because the creeps are still pushing bottom tower and actually managed to neutralize it. That is one thing. Creeps pushing they're useful. It's nothing like in Summoner's Rift where you can side push a lane and then win, but it's actually kind of annoying if you're trying to counter cap when creeps are trying to cap a point. Evelynn is going top. Somebody I always want to try on Dominion is Nidalee, because I play a lot of Nidalee in Summoner's Rift, but every game I've tried to take Nidalee, she's been taken before I could get her, which is totally fine. It's actually probably a good sign that she's pretty good at Dominion. Whereas items go, it looks like, well, not just items, their team in general. Their team is pretty much straight AD except for Leona, which made it, I don't know, kind of easy building for me. I mean, all I had to do was get Trinity Force and then a little bit of damage and a lot of tanky. That helped me brawl a lot of the people in fights. And there's 2 people there. Looks like Gangplank is kind of messing with Aurelia up top, but not really succeeding. Lux got caught out of position a little bit over there, but she managed to get away. Summoner spells also, side note, Summoner spells feel a lot less of a big deal on Dominion, basically because the game's shorter, everything's a lot more fast-paced, and with a shorter game you get less opportunities to use your Summoner spells. But also, I feel like they do less on Dominion, because there are, you know, there's the speed shrines up here, here, and here, and these speed shrines actually, you don't take it, you just walk over it and you get the buff. It's not actually like you take it and nobody else can get it. which is really, really powerful if you have a bunch of people walking through it. Looks like we're finally going to get this quest where we're supposed to take Boneyard at bottom. Nocturne ulted, but decided not actually to activate it, which was cool. We're probably going to get him under tower. Maybe not, actually. Oh, man. Yep. We're not actually... Oh, we did. Okay. The creeps. Luck's getting really low there, but we end up having... What happens with the towers is that when you capture one, it starts to shoot at people that are trying to tower dive you, but if they're trying to capture it, they end up suppressing the tower, kind of like a Malzahar ult, suppressing a character, and the tower does not actually fire. The towers I find in Dominion don't really do much. It's kind of a sad realization, but basically the towers are a lot less powerful than the towers in Summoner's Rift. I mean, in Summoner's Rift, you don't want to tower dive. You don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to go get them and just tower dive. But in Dominion, it's kind of a no-brainer. It's just like, oh, person, I'm going to go for it. It doesn't really matter as much if there's a tower there. Obviously, it gives them a small advantage, but it's nothing like in Summoner's Rift. Or it doesn't feel like it, at least. Throughout the game, I pretty much stayed near the bottom lane, trying to harass people in the lower jungle and push that bottom point. There, Aurelia decided, instead of staying around bottom, that she would end up going towards top. Or, well, pushing around our top, which is good. Looks like I'm playing as Aurelia, I might manage to make it away here. Yeah, I got really, really low from the Nocturne Fear along with the Olaf damage. Or Broloff, I guess. One thing to know is that, Fears, instead of other types of CC in this game, in Dominion at least, feel kind of odd just because you tend to lose sight of characters a lot more due to, well, it's kind of difficult to know the map and where sight happens and where you don't have sight. And because of that, when you fear somebody, sometimes they just walk in a random direction, and then you actually just straight up lose sight of them and can't catch them, which is very annoying, but I found that with fears, but that's about it. Kind of gonna compare Aurelia and Jarvan. In one of Freak's videos when he was explaining Dominion, he showcased it as Jarvan, and I thought that, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, I'll try Jarvan. By the way, at this point in the game, we are losing by almost 80 points. Anyways, he showed Jarvan, and I thought, oh, Jarvan must be pretty good, so I tried Jarvan, and right after I tried Aurelia, and I thought, wow, that was not fun. Like, I think a strength of Jarvan, for Summoner's Rift at least, is the fact that he's very, very strong on lane. His passive helps him last hit a lot, and comparing him to Aurelia, Aurelia has better sustain, which you'd think would be, I don't know, more related to Summoner's Rift. But Jarvan, he's still very good on lane. Him and Aurelia are both very good on lane. I think that Jarvan is more focused around team fights though, and that's something where Aurelia is a bit less focused. I mean, she's very good in team fights, no doubt, but Jarvan's got a lot of potential to hit 5 people skills, whereas Aurelia's stun is straight up, you know, just hit one person, you target them. And I think because of that, Aurelia is actually better in like single fight brawls than Jarvan, which is interesting because I thought that Jarvan might actually outclass Aurelia just due to her, you know, focus around her passive and sustaining and stuff like that. Also, between passives of Aurelia and Jarvan, Jarvan's passive, it's like, it is awesome when you're trying to last hit in lane. It's really, really powerful. But Aurelia's passive in team fights, or at least fighting some people, or one person, or anybody basically, makes such a huge difference. The reduced CC, here I'll read it out. When she's around 1 champion, she gets 10% reduced CC. When she's around 2, she gets 25, and when she's around 3, she gets 40% reduced CC, which is really good in Dominion, because a lot of the fights don't end up being, you know, 5 people. A lot of them are 2 or 3 people. For example, here there's 3 people on our team, 2 on theirs. Strategies in Dominion are, I'm just thinking because I saw us rushing to the top. Basically, the top point is generally the one that you want to try and have, and then you try and keep the 2 on your side, and then you fight for top. But a lot of the time when the enemy has a firm control over top, what teams can do is they can either try and run up through the jungle and kind of backdoor the closer to top one, the drill slash refinery, I think. Or they can push forwards on the bottom lane and actually often push to this tower, not usually taking it, but pushing to it at least fairly well. I found that Aurelia was really good at that part. I didn't fight around top much, but something also to notice that around the map there are health relics. The health relics are like early game, they're powerful. They're pretty damn good. They can turn the tide of a fight if you grab a crest relic because it heals like 200 or 300 health, I think. Later on, it's a little bit like it can be really clutch if it's that close, but a lot of the time it doesn't help that much. They're cool though. It's a cool aspect. Also, the greater, I think they're greater somethings of something. I don't really remember what they are. They're buffs that are in the middle where you capture them like points, and what it does is it gives you a shield that protects you from damage and does lightning damage on your attacks, I think, as well. It's interesting, but if you capture it, it also makes your character model a lot bigger, which is kind of cool. Looks like the enemy, we ended up killing off a lot of the enemy right there, and we capped 4 of their points, which gave us a little bit of a lead back ahead, and we're still up 1 point. The way Dominion works points-wise is that you don't lose points unless you're actually behind. So if the 2 teams are tied in terms of points and one's neutralized, then it'll stay like that. Like the scores won't change, which is kind of, it's very interesting. We just got another quest there, which was to capture the Boneyard and defend the quarry, I think. This is where my team said, okay, we need somebody to head back and we need to split up, because we didn't figure that Nidalee would be able to hold off the 2 pushing our factory or refinery or whatever it is. But with the increased damage buff from finishing the quest, me and Nidalee ended up cleaning up Olaf and Aurelia fairly easily. Our team didn't successfully push the drill very well, but it's not a big deal. We still managed to defend our points at least. We're also trying to capture the Boneyard. I'm getting fairly low here. Nidalee is staying in a little bit past her time. My friends are also pinging the points to explain to the new guy how to play.
Your Nexus is at 25% health.
We're now losing again. It went from us being behind about 80 points to tied around, I don't know, like at least 5 points. They're still winning right now, so down to 125 points it got tied, which is pretty damn close. Something that it's totally different for Summoner's Rift is the way the points work and stuff. Basically, how you're winning a game. You can win the early game, you can dominate them, and the enemy can come back and win so much easy. It's like so easily in Dominion. It's if they clean their act up, then they really can win the game, which is an awesome feeling. Because I mean, in Summoner's Rift, everyone's kind of used to the feeling where it's like, oh, I'm losing, and then you just lose the game because you got to a bad start, and then you're not going to get any better. People don't really tend to snowball like that in Dominion, which gives a great feeling to the game. As I got caught kind of out of position right there, turns out my friend Brad, playing as Evelyn, managed to backdoor neutralize top, which was fairly good. It bought us some time at least, bought us some points. We're down about 30 points now, which is bad, just because it's getting so close. They capped back the windmill, but looks like their whole team, or at least the most of their team, is up near there, except Nocturne, so I'm guessing we're probably going to dive Nocturne on his tower right here as Aurelia stopped to grab the buff and Olaf is defending top. We did decide to dive Nocturne. He didn't really have a chance just because the towers don't do much. And you can neutralize a tower in the middle of a fight, which is, it's interesting, but I don't know. I'm not too sure how I feel about the towers. We neutralized the point, lost 2 members, got 2 of them, and in the meantime, Gangplank is neutralizing top, which is good. I mean, if he can fight off Talon, we'll see. I mean, it's Aurelia versus Aurelia here. Gangplank, yeah, fighting off Talon, which is good. Looks like I died to Aurelia, which is unfortunate. Ah, never mind. Gangplank died to Talon. They still haven't capped the bottom point yet, though, which is really, really good. I mean, it's saving us a lot of time, because if they had capped it already, we would have lost so many points. Their Aurelia is now backdooring our point. Do we have anybody? I don't think we have anybody close enough to stop it, which is a bad thing. I'm playing as Aurelia. I think I might even ghost up there, maybe. No, I don't. Said not to. But she did manage to neutralize our point, which is really, really bad at this point. We really need that point. It's still capped. She ran into here to buy herself time. I kind of fell for it, which is bad. She grabbed the health relic. There's no way she's going to survive, but at least Gangplank decided to cap the point. Or Gangplank and Lux. Managed to catch Talon out of position here with Nidalee and Eve. I don't know if Eve's going to make it away from this just due to Olaf's. Yeah. Or Nidalee. But let's see if Gangplank and I can clean this one up. This would be fairly close, but it could be very clutch if we manage to kill them too. Nocturne's... Oh yeah, we did. Okay. Nocturne's also backdooring the bottom, but Lux is head down to stop him. Gangplank got a triple kill there, actually. Looks like, yeah. Basically, the way casters work is they get domed in this game by the DPS characters. Oh, and Evelynn stops the cap just in time, which gives us a tied-up score. We're about to capture Refinery now, or Quarry. And I am going to backdoor Drill. Probably going to pull off just because Talon showed up. Or I might actually try and kill him. We'll see. No, I won't be able to. Oh, maybe I will. Never mind, I will be able to. Gangplank heading through that way. He's got the buff, so he's got a bit more health and a bit more damage, which is good. Evelynn also tried to backdoor neutralize their Boneyard, which would be very good, but I don't think we had really enough time for that. I'm low at top, desperately trying to defend the point. Put down a garrison on it, ended up dying, but it looks like Gangplank's gonna manage to clean them up. With everybody dying. No points being neutralized though, so we've got 3 points. We're down 60 points generally, but I think that if we manage to keep fighting them like this, we might be able to pull it back. I don't really know. Oh right, Nocturne's backdooring. I was gonna say I don't really know where their team is because a lot about Dominion is also knowledge of the map and seeing where people are. Because at that point right there, I thought, wow, why aren't they pushing back top? Stuff like that. It's because Nocturne was going to backdoor. So it's a very good thing to notice stuff like that when you're trying to play Dominion. Map knowledge, I guess, is my biggest tip for Dominion. Also, character picks. A lot of characters that aren't normally viable in Summoner's Rift are kind of viable in Dominion from what I found. Like Heimerdinger. He is arguably overpowered for Dominion. The word on the street is Heimerdinger's overpowered. I've played against a few, and I've got to admit his turrets are very, very annoying. But I wouldn't go as far to say overpowered yet. I haven't got a full opinion on it, so I'll work on that. But Heimerdinger very powerful, which is interesting because, like I said, not very powerful in Summoner's Rift at all. Characters like, well, for example, Evelynn, I guess that's one really obvious one. She's horrible on Summoner's Rift, but I have played against several Evelynns, along with having this Evelynn on my team, and they all did pretty damn well, which was surprising, but it makes sense, I guess. Here's me and Evelynn desperately trying to hold on to this bottom point, even though we're way low. Might manage to do it. Nocturne jumps in, snipes the Evelynn. I end up getting killed as well, but in the meantime our team managed to cap Windmill, so it's 4-1 points wise. It's gone from like 40 to 100 down to 33 to 50. Our team is we're pulling this back, which is ridiculous due to the fact that we were down 80 points at one time. Looks like Nocturne's getting caught a little bit out of position maybe, but we'll see if he can manage to kill Nidalee. I think he got Nidalee. Lux managed to clean him up. Olaf's getting back top, but looks like Gangplank ult takes him out. He decided not to move. Lux desperately trying to escape from Aurelia. I'm heading up top to try and stop the Talon cap. I can probably just rip Talon's face off if he decides to fight. Yeah.
An enemy has been slain.
Might actually get him. Also, team is pushing bottom to try and counter push while I'm pushing top. Basically, as top, I got tasked to the job, just defend top at all costs, don't die. So that's my goal. It's a lot harder in Dominion because characters are all, they feel squishier, everything feels a lot more fast paced, which is great. I mean, it's a great feeling, but it's also difficult to get used to. Our team is up 1 point. They've gone down to, oh, I'm gonna die to the creeps, yeah. They've gone down to 8 points. We neutralized their backdoor point, and looks like we're gonna win 33 to 2, 3-0. Wow, that was a great game. I do not remember that at all. Well, thanks for watching. Remember to like, favorite, or subscribe for more videos. There'll be more coming out. This is Bipolar signing off.